Hello everyone. Hi. Let me just work on the share screen, yeah. Okay, y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Now it's on the full screen. Okay, good. Hi everyone. Just a very quick introduction. I'm Lily. As what Warren has said, I live in Shanghai since 2011, but I have been working with Chinese for a long time. But in the first numbers of years was basically working from Singapore, working with Chinese in China. Until 2011, I decided to relocate myself. So when Warren come to me and say, "Hey Lily, can you share something about business culture in Shanghai?" Because I'm a trainer, I actually do training in China. I'm a HR professional. I was telling Warren 25 minutes. I don't know where to begin because China is such a big country. How can I share everything in 25 minutes? You must be crazy. So I told Warren, I said, okay, I will try. But I just like to probably set expectation before we begin. Is that China is really very big. So we are zooming into Shanghai. However, Shanghai is still very big. So, to talk about business culture is really a big topic. I actually do cross-culture training and we take 2 days. So for 25 minutes, I can only focus on a few things. And I like to make this session a little bit more interactive and fun. So I'm going to share something fun here and there. But, it's only 25 minutes. So you can only see 25 minutes of me. But after that, we all can always discuss further during the chat session. And just to add on is I alone has been spending only 10 years there. There are many people that have spent 20 years there, seen the growth of China from day one until today. The day one means ever since Deng Xiaoping started the revolution. So I can only representing a small part of what I know. Okay, it's really not complete. Team, you can feel free to add in because you have been living in Shanghai. You will definitely know much more than me. Okay, so let me just begin with a quick introduction. Okay, about me. So I worked with China for 20 years. However, I technically relocated there in 2011. I started off in a search company. So we do a very high tier search, with the multinationals. So there is the time where I start to have a lot of interaction with Chinese because, we do a lot of interview, we head hunting and all. And honestly, 10 years ago, when I was doing that, the kind of caliber that I'm looking at in the people, is very different from what I'm looking at today. Okay, I'm really dealing with the people. And over the last 10 years, I can honestly say it shocked me every year. When I first went to Shanghai, I find I have to speak Chinese, because, English cannot move anywhere. I mean, technically, not many people speak English except you are working in a multinational. But today, as I was walking along the Shanghai street, I can be hearing people speaking English around me. So this is the kind of environment there now. Okay, so in 2012, I very pretty lucky. I met some friends, and then they say, hey, how about starting a business with me? I said, yeah, okay, why not? So, they say that the young tiger don't know what is the danger out there. So I started a business with a friend. And it is ongoing until today. We are not like it's a big business, it's a small business. I feel as well. I feel in 2017 by having a wrong partner. So I mean, naturally, we meet great guys and we meet bad guys as well. So and then in 2012, my 2012 business, I did a spin-off as well. So in the spin-off itself, it was pretty good and successful. But until 2 years later, something again happened. These are strange things that happen in China. So 2019, I did a new startup, which is Coach House Academy, and I'm still running here today. Today, I have actually invited one of my partners to be here on board, which is Josephine. Right. So later during breakout time, I welcome her to help me to, discuss, if any one of you all have some questions about business culture in China. I mean, specifically in Shanghai. Josephine has been there for like 20 over years, right? So we do have a few more upcoming new ventures. I mean, this is how interesting Shanghai is. Honestly, I live in Singapore longer than I live in Shanghai. But while I was living in Singapore, I have never crossed my mind to start a business. But when I'm in China, you look at it over the 10 years, I actually have a failure, a success, and an ongoing, and even a startup. So what I want to say is that basically, it sometimes does change your mind walking out of Singapore. Okay. Now, why China? Why Shanghai? Okay. Because it's full of opportunity, right? I don't know the background of the audience here, but I just have to make assumptions that you are all new or probably hearing this for the first time. Do you know that Shanghai is called a 魔都？对不对 ？Team 对，就叫魔都 So by the word 魔都 I mean this is an interesting part about Chinese. They use words to create something exciting. 魔都 I mean, to me it's like, oh wow, it's an interesting word. It leaves to your imagination, right? It is actually a place full of people, right? So now becomes 什么人在上海？是不是魔？
魔女
What doesn't mean people lah. It means yeah, a lot of things there, because it's a lot of people there, right? And just to give you a snapshot, today there are 27 million people there, right? And if you're looking at the statistics in 2 years' time, the number is supposed to go beyond 30 million. Okay, and a big proportion of these people are migrants, or actually expatriate like us, even including those that are coming from other part of China, right? But this is the numbers that is there, and it is like 6 times of Singapore, right? So this is also something interesting about Shanghai, is that anything is possible. If you talk to people, they will say 只有想不到，没有做不到 ，team 对吧？
对对对，当然对。
只要你说得出来，我们就能做了，对不对？就有办法去想。So it is a city where people think about possibility. 只要你说出来 ，somebody somewhere will do it. 你不做不要紧，总有人做。Okay, so this is the mindset of the Chinese simplicity wise. So now what do you need? You need a glasses like me, but a lot more thicker. Maintain your curiosity, maintain your open mindset. If you want to explore Shanghai. Okay. I mean, I think I'm prettier than her, but I think her picture is quite nice. Okay, now, as I mentioned, there's so many things to share about Shanghai. It's very difficult to spend within 25 minutes. I think I'm going to use 28 minutes, but then, it's very difficult to control the time here. So I'm going to zoom into 3 areas, and typically it's about the people, the communication, and the culture. Again, we will touch, on some interesting point, but not go in depth. To go in depth, we probably have to go through another few more sessions. Right. So when we talk about people, when I look at this, I was like, oh my God, to remember them is already a task for me. Okay, so this is all not all, it's part of the 少数民族 in China. Okay, so do you all like to make a guess? How many 民族 are there in China? Tim, 你知道吗
？6个啊，不是56个吗？好像不是57吧，56，应该是
56个就是民族，但是呢，我们如果把那些小的民族，就是万以下的人，万就是几万人以下的，有400多个。
对的，有可能。
对的。So, of course not. I mean, in Shanghai, we don't have all these 400多个民族的 people, or even 56个民族的 people in Shanghai 没有，就有一半的人也已经够了。It's already complex enough. Okay. Now, Shanghai, if we're talking about people, communication, and culture, it is a cosmopolitan city, right? It has 27. I mean, it's about 20. When I first in Shanghai 10 years ago, it's probably about 18 million. Yeah, but now it's about 27. It's about 10 million, 1 million per year. So when we look at the city itself, we need to look at what are the people there. If you want to do business there, who are your customers and who are you selling the product to? So you need to look at who are the people there. So there are lots of multinational people there. Okay. In fact, I was just sharing. I said that look, people used to say that you can eat anything in Singapore because Singapore got Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnamese, all kind of food here, right? But when I was in Shanghai, it's like I was told that, hey, there is a Russian restaurant somewhere. I mean, that was about 5 years ago. I was like, huh? Russian restaurant also got down here. Oh, jialat, we must go there and try, So that is multinational, whereby people from all walk of life are actually there, right? It's just a matter of I have to dig up for that. So then we need to look at, hey, Singaporean and Chinese, how do we work together? What is the 碰点, and what is the thing that attract and what's the thing that repel among us? Okay, so generally in Shanghai, okay, it's easier to do. Actually, it's not busy. It's to do business. I typed wrongly as compared to other regions. So apologies for that. Because it's easier to do business because, of course, all the things that Tim has mentioned, the support systems from the governments are very proactive. Unlike other cities, usually one step behind. And Shanghai city is usually like a test bed. Let's say they want 有什么政策要去 testing 要去推动一些好像创业什么东西Shanghai usually is one of the forefront region So it's easier because there's no language problem, right? 好像 Tim 讲他会讲英语已经很棒了，对不对？ So if you want to do business in China, it's not like, oh, I must speak dialect or I must speak Chinese, especially in Shanghai. English is possible. Shanghai is also very, I'm talking about people. The people are very open. That means that if you could sit down and say, hey, let's go for a coffee and tea, they usually will say yes. They will not ask you, say, 什么事啊? They will usually think that, hey, okay, it's an opportunity to meet someone new. That is the kind of excitement they have when someone organize some kind of networking meetup or something like that. And of course, multicultural, very international. Okay, so it's fairly easy in that sense. The other thing is about communication. So I just put in a few very interesting words that I think it's not important that your Chinese must be superb. But you need to understand and 懂得说 why 你要进去一个圈子 you want to go into a circle and you cannot speak their language. How close can you be? Okay, so these are for thinking, right? So I met a lot of Singaporean. I mean, now I'm in Singapore. I'm still talking to some, and then they say, 我的中文很差, Yeah, but hey, you want to do something with China, so 你的中文差, 你 better 跟 Warren 学. Okay, right. So the other thing about the way Chinese talk, okay, there's a lot of speaking that they 拐弯抹角. 这真的是拐弯抹角吗? Maybe yes, maybe no. The reason is because their style, 他们的 upbringing 就有很多 cultural thing, 就比如 respect, right? Power distance, So when they talk and they express something, it always depends on who they are talking to, right? So this affects the way they behave. So you sometimes don't understand that because we Singaporean, our education has been pretty simple and direct. So we are bred to be very people with very probably integrity wise. We can say that we are the forerunner in integrity. But then, we tend to be more direct. We wanted very clear processes. We want things to be black and white. You better give me a black and white. No black and white, I don't talk to you. But these are things that may not work in China. Right. Of course, again, I cannot 一个棒打死全部 not that every Shanghainese are like that or Shanghai business is like that, but we are talking about the mass maturity, right? So they do because of their cultural thing where power distance, hierarchy, respect and trust, all these things come in. So sometimes they speak, they 会留一点后路。This is their mind. 我不会把东西都讲绝了，我不会说不行，我不能做。他们说，有可能让我们去想想或研究一个方式，对吧？听
不错，对对对。
对，所以呢，上海人呢，我不是只是上海人吧，in general 呢，the Chinese way of communication is they would not 说实话，就是让自己进入死角，没有回头路。So this maybe sometimes people will think that 你在拐弯抹角，其实 it's just their culture of communication. Okay. The other thing is the Chinese 文字的意思呢 actually is very deep, right? So sometimes we will have a cultural misunderstanding here. So I wanted to emphasize this word 意思和方便这两个字。I want to show you a short video. Let me see if I could get it fixed.
你这什么意思？
没什么意思。
壳子放下来这里。
你这
Sorry?
Okay, yeah. What it means, you play, then you put your cursor down.
小意思，小意思。
你这个人挺有意思。
其实也没别的意思。
那我就不好意思了。
是我不好意思。
哎，我说你这个人不够意思啊。
最近手头不太方便。
可以等你方便的时候再。
我想让你先给我提供点方便，到时候我绝不差这点意思。
哪有那么方便的事儿？
哎，这样吧，领导，方便请您吃个饭吗？饭桌上谈比较方便。
你再想想，我先去方便一下。
哎，领导，那在您方便的时候，我请您吃饭。
你说什么？
嗨，领导，我不是那个意思。
话都说到这个份上了，还有什么意思？真好意思，乱弹琴。
Okay, I don't know if you guys get the story, but it's a very profound ways of using 这两个字啦。Tim, 你能够理解吧？
对对对，可以可以，很有意思。
对对对。So, what we are saying is that Chinese do have their own way of communicating. It's just the difference is that we need to understand their motivations. Why did they say such thing? Even 他讲的意思和另外一个意思是他的意思是什么 then you need to understand it, 那你就听得懂哦。如果你不知道他的内心在 thinking about what, then 你就不懂他在说什么。Right. So this is actually the typical communication style. So if you are connecting with the Chinese, one other thing that I think is important to take note is that the Chinese does have some problem about saying the word no or maybe rejecting, right? They tends to be compliance, or they do acknowledgement. So when they acknowledge what they hear or understand from you, or may not understand, but maybe what they hear from you, they typically use the word yes or okay. So if you say something, yes, yes, okay, yes, but it doesn't mean they know what you are talking about. The big suggestion is to make sure that you get them to explain to you what they have heard, especially you are working with your people. Let's say you have some staff and whatever, you give them some directions. So do take note of this, yes. Right. Let me come back to the slides. Okay, so in terms of the people and the communication and cultural, one of the big things in the topic, as I mentioned, we do cross-cultural training. And this is actually a 2 days training. It's not something that we can achieve in 20 minutes, right? So, but I just pluck out this thing about 关系。在中国做生意，关系 is very important. But, we are Singaporean, so we are still Singaporean even we are there. 我们怎么去搞关系呢？ This is a big thing, I mean, in business is about 关系. So when we look at 关系, it's usually 3个人. I mean, of course, more than 3个人, but 3个人, that means you're 1 plus. Relationship is one very important. 就是你我他，我们3个人的关系是什么。So 首先 you need to understand who this person is. Is he the 领导 or is he the subordinate? 或者 is a peer? You know, some people who have no position, but they have a lot of power. I mean, I've seen one CEO have one finance manager. It's not even a finance controller, it's a finance manager. You know, then we are thinking that, hey, you know, the CEO, we have this business dealing with the CEO and everything. Wow, sweet. But you know what? End up, the finance manager have the final say, you know. The finance manager 这个不行，我们的 budget 已经过了，不行。The CEO, OK, 那没办法了。We were like, 真的吗？你不是 CEO 吗？ You know, so you need to understand that in some company, not all, some company, there are certain people in the company have some power, and it is important to identify this. Okay, so after you identify all this power and all this relationship, it is important because it tells you a lot of things about how you should behave, your mannerism, you know, with this person, your dress code, you know, if you should go out and meet this person, what should you be aware of in terms of your dress code? Gifts, you know, does it mean that all the gifts are only for the 领导? Maybe not, you know, 大有大的，小有小的, you know, you must know where they are coming from. Then you will do the proper job. And finally, of course, the entertainment part. Anyway, the entertainment part is another big school of thought because, you know, how you sit, 谁敬谁酒，你的酒杯是怎么碰, there is always a 学问 for it, right? 就是 when you have 2 cups, maybe I have these 2 cups in front of me, you can see. When you have someone more senior, you always put your cup below. You know, these are mannerisms. So just so happen I have 2 cups, so I can do a kind of demo for you. I mean, in Singapore, we are not so aware of such a cultural behavior. But when you are there in Shanghai and China, these are things where people judge you on. And if we do not have a relationship with them, then our mannerism, how we present ourselves, how we respect them, how we gain trust, become their only way to assess how to do business with us. Okay? Now, why do we do all these things? And one of the most important thing is actually this word called 面子. Right? Why we do all this is also because we want to give 他们面子. Once you understand and respect all these things, sometimes you can bring the business a lot further. Okay? Right. So as a Singaporean, as a non-Chinese, I mean, we have a little bit advantage over, sometimes advantage, sometimes disadvantage over the whites. Because sometimes the hair color, all these things, or your eye color, does create different type of respects in China there. Okay. However, being a Singaporean, we do have some, I mean, the Chinese do have some perspective about us, right? So then we talk about how to build a relationship, a 关系. When I don't, I mean, for me, I'm already the 3rd generation here. I actually doesn't know anybody in China. I don't even know my yeye is from where, right? So then I'm like in a foreign ground. So how do I create this relationship with the Chinese? Not with the Singaporean that's in China. That's different story already. So there's no easy way out. Okay, so we are like the Western, the foreigner out there. We may have some advantage and disadvantage. The disadvantage definitely is because our skin colors are yellow, right? To them is, 你还不是老外, right? Choosing between 去新加坡和去美国，他们还是会选择去美国的，虽然中美关系没这么棒，对不对？这是一个 very common scenario. Then between different type of Asian countries, then Singaporean, where do we stand? We stand as the fact that we are higher integrity. You know, they see us as a higher integrity. They trust us. But at the same time, they 觉得我们有点笨。因为我们是没有红灯不会过马路的人嘛。Right. But 现在在上海是有红灯必须要跟着红灯走 or else 会被罚的。But you know, in the past, what I'm saying is that we are brought up in a way that we obey rules and policies, right? So, but 中国 is a place whereby, you know, things can be done if you can find a way out. Okay, so what are the way out? Buying means give, buying gift, buying dinner, buying lunch, buying, you have to pay for your relationship, right? You don't even know anybody. So what are you going to do? You mean in Singapore, you want to know somebody in somewhere, you probably do a cold call, you try your luck. What the sales manager or the purchasing manager want to see you, them happy, go down there and do a presentation. So it's either your product is damn good or your product is damn bad. So then they give you a chance or not. If they give you a chance, you are waiting for the chance whereby something happens somewhere so that you can go in and sell them this product of yours or whatever. But in China, sometimes it's different. It's really relationship. You need to find a way. You need to find how. So you need to start doing all these things. Entertaining. And one important thing for us is always networking. In Shanghai, networking is a very, very vibrant thing. Okay, I can tell you when I'm in Shanghai, it's like every night there's something happening somewhere. Either the chamber, of course, there's many chambers there. So the chambers, meeting, networking session, learning or coaching or this. Singapore, we are very, very, very low on that. It's not low, it's very, 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 very low on that. So, and something interesting that I heard recently is that in China, of course, if you 有血缘关系, that's why they always have this ganging, so Wenzhou, if I remember correctly, the start of it, I mean, Wenzhou are very good in 做生意, 他们就是很有钱, but they started how? They started as a town, like a 村, so they all give the money to the 村长 or the most intelligent person in the 村, and then please go and help us make money. So they have trust in that kind of blood bonding, right? So since we don't have that, one of the way a lot of people learn is to go 学员. 学员 means what? Go and study MBA, go and join the school in China, and then learn together with your friends. You create relationship with some people, and then from there you grow. You like for networking, basically what we do is, hey, I want to know somebody, and one day, hey, how can you recommend me, introduce me? Hardly we will bump into a networking session just like an individual who don't know anybody, and you think of through that you can know somebody great. It is pretty hard lah. Okay, so this is about how again, this is not the only one way I'm talking. I'm just sharing what I feel, there's a lot more to this, that we can talk about. Oh, there's another thing that I learned recently about China. 就是中国人有5拍，猜是什么拍
？5拍。
5拍。
拍拖。
拍什么？
拍拖。
拍拖啊，拍拖那个是加拍了，不是5拍之一。中国人不拍拖的，他们依旧是 dating， 然后就结婚，很快闪婚。5拍 ，OK， 这个唯一的在上海的人，你看看这5拍听过吗？好的。拍胸口、拍掌、拍桌子和一拍两散。Okay, so what does it mean? 拍脑袋 means that 中国人的方式啊，就好像我们新加坡，我们Singaporean 有加书、加戏 so this is something like that So 拍脑袋 means that the moment you say something, they think it works. 拍脑袋就把它干了，就去做了，对不对？就是觉得这个东西是可行的，拍脑袋就走了。第二个呢，就是兄弟嘛，只要你说了，我就拍胸口，我包了，只有拍胸口去做了。第三就是老板说话，大家拍掌，就是 it's a behavior whereby 领导说话，大家鼓掌 promote 的拍掌。Then the fourth one 拍桌子 means that they're not happy, they 拍 and then please go, 拍桌子 to make decision and what very strong decisions， 老板的架势。然后第5个就是一拍两散 right? So if it doesn't work, then they just go. They will not linger with you. Okay? Right. So I don't know how much time I have. I don't have a clocker with me, but I think I've almost come to the end of my sharing today. As I mentioned, this is just really a part of the business culture, right? A lot more. So if to really understand the culture or to have a real glimpse of it is actually a long training lah. Okay, so this is something interesting. 羊毛长在狗身上，猪买单，听过吗？Anybody like to guess 什么意思呢？ Anybody like to guess?
Russ, you want to guess, Russ, what does this mean?
Hello, yes, of course.
Russ,
Right.
yes, welcome.
Yeah, so 羊毛
有听过吗？
长在狗，yeah, 没有，羊毛长在狗身上有，猪买单就没有。Yeah, something new, man. So yeah, I don't know whether there are non-Chinese friends here. You want to translate a little bit, like yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to translate, but easier to explain.
Yeah.
But 羊毛 is what? Goat hair?
Yeah,
Wool
like
or dog?
the wool, and the wool of the dog, like
The
the wool of the sheep that grows on the dog, and the pig will pay the bill for the wool, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so basically what this meant is that when the Chinese do business, it's not about I must make money from this thing. Whatever they are running the business, for example, they are thinking about the bigger thing that they can make money from. Okay, when, for example, the Didi 是一个行哈。Didi, when they started the business, they didn't think about making money from the passenger. In fact, when you are a passenger, you take taxi. Sometimes it's only like $1, 50 cents, because they got rebates and discount. I always wonder how they make money. Then now I know already. They go public listing and then they got multi-million. And I have a pool of friends in Didi. They were like, huh? Are you sure we are not making money? So their mind is bigger than just the thing. So what we are saying is that, I think I've grown up in a I won't say the country, but I was grown up and taught that whatever I sell or whatever I make sure I make money from there. Okay. But the fact is that I've seen in China that actually the money is not made here. You should be thinking about the value that is creating and who is going to buy that. Okay. So I think one of the most prominent examples are all the internet, the internet thing, like 美图秀秀, until today 还没有赚到钱，但是它是 public listed company， 它钱好多，它的钱不赚在人那边，而是 the financial market. Okay, so in general, to end my presentation, I just think that we need to change your mindset. You need to change your mindset about what you want to do if you want to go to China. If you think that you sell very well of a product here, when you go to China, you may want to spend more time into understanding actually where is it that you are making money from. Okay, that's all with my sharing. Thank you very much for all your attention.